Hi everyone, welcome to Hunter Gatherer Cooking. Today I'm going to show you how to cook a Cote De Boeuf on the Somerset grill. So really a Cote De Boeuf is a thick cut ribeye steak on the bone. So this one is from Good Taste Foods and it's available online. It's been butchered by Buxton Butchers and it's been dry aged in a Himalayan salt chamber. And yeah, it's 32 ounces. So to prep the steak, you're going to need to make sure that it comes out of the fridge, ideally minimum an hour before you're cooking. You don't want the steak to be cold, you want it to be room temperature and warm it through slowly. Next, pepper. Grind it up, cover both sides. Next, salt. Exactly the same, don't hold back. So now that the Cote De Boeuf is seasoned, make sure your Somerset is raring hot. And what I've done is piled up the embers towards this side because I'm going to focus just on this side when I'm cooking. And then it's just time to lower the grill. And what I like to do is stand it up to start with like that. What I really want to do is try and cook through and render this bit of fat where possible. Now you've got a few options at this point. You could use a clever thermometer like a meter, you could use a wired one, you could use your thumb and do it to touch. Whatever you're comfortable with, go with that. I'm going to do it to touch today and see how we get on. Just remember, if you were inside using the cooker, you would probably sear each side, glaze it, chuck loads of butter, herbs, and then you put it in an oven. You haven't got an oven on the Somerset grill, so consistency is everything. So if you're going to keep turning it evenly, otherwise you're going to have an uneven cook. Now just remember, keep an eye on your fire basket and make sure you keep topping up if you need it. Keep jigging the logs too. So one thing I like to use is wooden pellets, and this is maple, cherry and hickory, and I just sprinkle them on the coals. Okay, so one thing I like to do is just add a little garlic and parsley butter and just let that melt in at this point. I'm going to add some more when it's resting as well, but that's going to help caramelize it. So make sure you keep sort of poking it and checking your thermometer to see how done it is. If you're using a thermometer, medium rare is about sort of 55 degrees. A little bit more butter. And what you should do is start to build up a nice little crust on there. If you are doing it to touch, what you're feeling for is that it sort of firms up. Feeling that now, we're not a million miles away. When you feel it's ready or your thermometer says it's ready, make sure that you rest that steak. Now that steak's going to want to rest for a good 10-15 minutes and let all those juices slow down and start to thicken up, so make sure you do it. It's going to be really tempting to cut into it, but don't. Now whilst the steak's resting, I've got these beautiful scallops which should just have enough time to cook. Now all they need is a little pinch of salt, and if you've got any of that butter left, a good dollop in there and that will melt down. So the steak is rested. It's time to carve. Now what you want to do is take off the bone first, take out that triangle there, because that's a nice fatty part, and I like to chop that in half down that way. For all you fatty fans, you'll love that. And then it's just a case of carving this up. About 1 centimetre thick, I'd say. If you can. Make sure your knife is sharp. Beef fat chips as well. There you go, so once it's plated, remember that juice from when it was resting? Make sure you don't waste any of that. And I pour that straight through there, all over everything. And that is one hell of a surf and turf Cote De Boeuf. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. It is super easy to do. Don't be afraid, just keep turning it regularly, keep touching it, keep checking your thermometer, and you should be fine. So not everyone's got access to a great butcher, so if you're interested in that particular Cote De Boeuf, then I'll put all the links in the description below, and as I said, you can actually have it delivered as well as those scallops as well. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, give the video one of those, drop me a comment, and I'll see you soon for the next one.